Welcome back everybody to the channel. Hope you're having a good day. Well, we finally got some time to get back in the garage here and work on the Cub Cadet. So I'll start off by saying if you see kind of a blur on the screen about right here, I dropped the GoPro this morning and cracked the lens. So I'll need to get that fixed, but bear with me through this. Hopefully it's not too bad. So we got the headlights for this tractor in. So I want to get it turned around here just to make it easier to work on. And actually I'm going to drop the front loader off of it because the next step I believe is to work on the front wheels. And I'm going to be adding the front guard to protect that hydraulic tank. So dropping this loader will just make it easier to get to all that stuff. It's been very cold out. And this battery, I believe, was going bad anyway, about on its last leg, so it's not going to be strong enough to start the tractor, but I need to pick up that front loader, so we'll just use the starter generator to pick that up. Make sure we're in neutral here. Alright, as you can tell, that battery is very dead. So we're neutral, we're off the ground. Just going to roll this tractor back. We'll put some wood down below the bucket. All right, should be good. Drop that down, take the pressure off. So these upper pins for the loader are connected, or I should say retained, with a cotter pin. So we'll take that cotter pin out now. One of these has been replaced, it looks like. And down to the second one here. Now this one looks to be original, and I cannot get it to turn with the pliers. Looks like it's pretty stuck, so we need to try to pry that out of there. Alright, finally came loose. There we go. Alright, both cotter pins are out. Now I hope these pins will push out without any problem. Depends how much wear they have on them. So take this washer off here. Looks like that pin is going to go, so don't want to take it out just yet. Let's see about this other one. Oh yeah, slides pretty nice. Take that washer off. Alright, before I take these upper pins out, I'm going to get these pins out for the hydraulic cylinders. And I think the trip mechanism, yeah, that's all contained on the loader itself, so nothing needs to come apart there. Let's get these bolts out. So the cylinder is going to drop here when I pull this bolt out. This should be okay. There it goes. And repeat one more time here. And the first problem is already encountered. I can't get that bolt out because of this muffler. Somebody need to crack that muffler loose. I think that did the trick. All right, we can pull that bolt out now. And the cylinder's gonna fall. Yep. All right, I'll leave that alone for now. Next, we need to support this loader, and I'll take these 2 pins out and we'll back the tractor out from the loader. Okay, I tied the cylinders up so they can't fall, and that way they're not resting on the front tire. So when I push it back, those will be okay. All right, 1 pin is out. Last one right here. All right, well, that wasn't too bad. At some point here, I'll take a better look at these bushings on the loader pivot arms. Just now's a good time to check everything since it's apart. But I'll get the tractor backed around, back it in right there, and we'll get into the headlights. And we'll get some wood here below the loader, just so it's not laying on the concrete. But all in all, not too bad. The pins looked pretty good. So I'll get those cleaned up and take a better look at them. All right, well, all in all, that was pretty smooth. I'm surprised those pins came out as easily as they did. So now I think I'm going to jack the front end up here. We'll get some blocks under the front axle. We'll get these wheels pulled off. All right, so the whole reason we're jacking this front end up again is because we're going to be doing some custom work to the front hubs and spindles on this tractor. You know, I don't like the bearings that are in it right now. They're not really sized anywhere near the, correct weight rating for this front loader. And they just beat themselves up and don't last very long, so. All right, just like that, we're off the front tires. Nice and sturdy here, got some wood cribbing in there. I think I'll go ahead right now, since I'm down here, I'll just pull these old tires off. You can see right there that these bearings that are in here are ones that I put in about 2 years ago when I bought this tractor, and they're already gone. So you don't really notice that until you take the weight off, but those things just do not last. And the bearing just fell right out. That's how worn out that front hub is. All right, here's a better look here just to show you. I mean, that bearing should not fall out of the wheel that easily. Just completely shot. So they're both the same, just like that. One, because of all the weight out there from the front loader. And then the second reason I think those bearing hubs are just so blown out on the rim, because every time that you dump the bucket, based on how this thing is constructed, the bucket's not able to kind of free spin. It dumps and it actually bottoms out on the loader frame. So every time that you dump this thing, it just gives an impact or an impulse, to the whole, loader frame, which is transferred back into the tractor. And I think those front hubs just take a beating. But yeah, we'll get into the spindles here probably next time. I just wanted to pull those wheels off. This is the one that I replaced 2 years ago, this tire. I don't think this side's as bad, but yeah, that bearing has a lot of play to it. So, All right, well, got it jacked up here on some blocks. It's not going to go anywhere. Let's take the hood off because I think it'll make it easier to work on these headlights. This tractor's looking quite a bit different than it did just about half an hour ago. But as you can see, it's going to make it much easier to work on the headlights now. And it's much easier to get to all the front end components, you know, for the bumper and for the grill and everything, with that being off. So I think we'll go ahead and get this popped out of here. So the voltage regulator right here is mounted to the cast iron part of the nose piece. So I think all we need to do is get these 4 nuts broke loose on the back side, and that plate should pop out to the front. All right, that took a minute. Got all 4 of those nuts off. Now this should come out. I think we're hung up on that last stud. There it goes. All right, so that's out. It's definitely looking different now. Well, the more I looked at this, I think the best move is to take this cast iron nose piece off of the tractor to work on it, because I can get to the top half pretty easily to get it cleaned up. But the main problem I see is on the back side, or the inside right here, there's 4 holes. So they're drilled and tapped holes. That's where the grill is held in. So this tractor is, you know, missing the front grill, but I plan to put one back in there. So again, there's just no good clearance to get a tap into that hole down there on the bottom or the top. So unfortunately, we'll take it a step further. No big deal. I think this is held down with 4 bolts at the base that hold it to the frame. And then we'll need to remove the voltage regulator. And before I even touch any of the wiring, we'll get that battery disconnected, even though it is pretty much dead. So we'll do that. Try to show you here. So there's a hole way down here in the bottom. There's just no way to get in there to get that cleaned out. It's completely full of dirt. So I don't think this will be as straightforward as just slapping in the headlights in the tractor and going with it. I think to do a thorough job and, you know, to get everything attached to this front grille that needs to be, or this front nose piece, we'll just pull it out of the tractor. And fast forward a few minutes and we got that cast iron nose piece taken off. It was a bit of a job, sort of hard to get to those 4 bolts. And then I realized the 4 bolts that hold down the nose piece to the frame actually go through the frame, and that's what mounts the hydraulic tank with the pump and the bracket on the front. So this bracket's just loose right now. It's actually hanging off the V-belt there. Probably put some wood down below there so it's not pulling on that crankshaft. But yeah, I got the wood cribbing slid back behind the front axle, so now the axle can pivot, and it's just easier to work on. So I think this about wraps this video up. I know I kind of got into it thinking I'd be installing the headlights into the grill, but actually pulling off that nose piece just makes it much easier to work on that front end. Probably put the headlights on the back burner for the minute, and or I'm sorry, for the moment, and then we'll move into the front end. I think before I can do anything with the new hubs and rims I have, I want to break this down further, take the spindles out of the axle, check the bushings there. I'm sure there's some wear. And then I was already looking at the kingpin that holds the front axle, basically allows that to pivot. So we'll see how far we can go with that. In the meantime, I will get this cast iron nose piece cleaned up. We'll get all the holes cleaned out and all the threads cleaned. And just a little sneak preview here, which I'll do in the next episode probably. These are my new rims for the front end on this tractor. And yeah, this thing looks much different than it did a couple hours ago here. But I think it's the right move. Just make it easier for us to work on this front end. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. And until next time, hope to see you back here again.